How many of you started off, I don't have the little chain for it, but with one of these as a kid? And you had a screwdriver, a pop top opener, a nail file, and I would say, oh, probably should have got that ready before I started. A knife. This was the first knife, not this one, but the first type of knife I ever used to carve wood. And I remember I was telling my dad, what can I carve? And he told me to carve a toothpick. And I was like, oh, that's easy. I do that all the time. He's like, no, you carve one that looks like an actual toothpick. And I spent a whole summer carving birch tree wood, mostly because it smelled real good, trying to taper it on both ends and make it as close to a toothpick as I could. I picked these up at a thrift store when I was traveling, and I thought I'd share those since our topic today is knives. This isn't going to be a whole video because it's going to take a while still. I'm trying not to rush this project. I took that fillet knife and cut it and got 9 usable pieces out of it. And after much, strip sander, files, a Dremel grinder, a belt sander, and then hand diamond stoning, I got them down. They're not perfect. They're going to get polished out when they're done, but they are acceptable to me that they will get and hold an edge. And each one is a little different, either in size or in sweep of, like this one's got a little bit of an upsweep to it. I made some that are more detail knives with a tighter end, and then some that are more rough out knives that are a little bit beefier. So the plan is to harden these today, and that's why you're here, because you get to see me play with the forge. First, I'm gonna adjust the jet, the Venturi, because I don't think it's coming straight down like I want. Then a guy on the interweb marketplace had a huge pile of scrap hardwood. Come and get it stuff, and little pieces. But to me, this is mahogany. It smells so good. And I got a lot of mahogany. I could have taken more, but I know other people want it. Let me just do this. There we go. And took a couple of pieces of maple. And then I said, wow, I saw you had some Purple Heart, and I'm sure somebody grabbed that quick because there's a big pile in his driveway. He goes, yeah, but I still have some in the garage. How about I give you some? So he gave me 1 piece of Purple Heart. And if you've ever worked with this stuff, it comes out, it looks beautiful when you're done. So I will probably make a couple of knife handles out of these. So I laid out my pattern based on a knife that I already have that I like. And I made a kind of a larger version for the rough out. And the blades that I make, the detail knives, are going to have a little bit smaller handle. Okay, these go pretty quick, and so I probably won't talk while I'm doing it. I'll just show you ahead of time. I've got my oil for quenching, needle nose for those small blades, my magnet to test and see when they lose their magnetism, and my lighter. I'm going to get it started. I'll record the whole thing, I guess, and then edit it out, just so you can kind of see me fumble around with it. Should be fun. So all right. Okay, I think I need to adjust my 2 bricks in the back. I had it so that all the heat comes out the front. My hand got warm pretty quick, and the glove only helps for a bit. I didn't preheat my oil last time I preheated it on the stove. I just completely forgot until I was almost done. I should have showed you at first, but I did do the file test, and it looks like it's scratching it, but it really isn't. It's just scratching the carbon on it. So, but it definitely sounds different than when I was filing them before. So I'm going to take that as a good sign. I think I need to make a side table so I'm not working with like the oil and stuff right in front of the forge. I think that would be a good next safety move. My wife was proud of me for putting on my leather shoes before I started, so come on. Okay, so I'm going to clean these up. I'm not sure. Well, I want to get them pretty clean. And you notice this time I only worked on the front. The tang didn't really need to be glowing red and demagnetized. It shouldn't matter. I'm going by things I've read and things that people have told me, and I seem to be getting through it, but I would love feedback. I know there's some knife makers out here. Quick observation. I just went over the blades with the roughest of the little Scotch-Brite pads, and it took off the carbon, most of it, but I noticed it didn't scratch the metal. Before I heat treated these, I had tried to clean them up with these, and it did scratch the metal. So they are hardened. We'll put quotes. All right, I just wanted to keep you in the loop. I don't know how well you can see that, but I have all 9 of them in. None of them are directly above the heating element. And I put them on a wire rack instead of the flat rack this time, so they can get heat evenly around them. These are all things I'm just going to keep trying. We're going to go to about 400. And I think it's got a 30-minute timer, but I'm going to just do my own timer then. Stay on. All right. That should heat up, and in 1 hour, and then I have to let them slow cool on their own. So I'm going to go experiment with some of these pieces, get them laid out, and we'll come back and see what happens. Hey, you're back. Now wait, I'm back. I think we're gonna wrap this one here. Ugh, sorry, it's been a long day. A real quick recap. I'll pull a few of these out. The knives have been tempered. They sound and feel different, you know, when they bounce around. These are gonna require some really fine grit sanding, and then sharpening, and then stropping and honing. So there's a lot of work left in them, but I'm pretty pleased with how they've come out so far. They all seem to be decent. So I thought I'd play a little catch-up game today. I like ketchup. It's good. Come on. Grandpa jokes. Get with it. I've already started without you guys. I sanded the handles, the 3 that I made originally, after I got done with the rasp. I hit them on the belt sander and got them to this point, and now it's just going to be a lot of hand sanding. What I did do is I married up 3 blades with 3 knives, so little by little I'll make it so that they go in all the way as I'm working them. And then once they're epoxied in, I'll do the finish, polishing and sharpening the blade, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to do a lot of hand sanding today, and I don't know if that's content worthy, but I do like having y'all around. Okay, here's the deal. I sanded and sanded with 80 grit, checking to make sure there was no ridges, bumps, divots, that don't feel good in your hand, because it really gets uncomfortable if you're using the tool, or in this, the knife, and you have it pushing into a spot because it's rough or there's that obnoxious ridge. So I just spent more time than I care to say sanding, and that's only the 80 grit, and that was, most of that time was spent on the Purple Heart because it is so much harder of a wood. So I'm gonna switch gears. Before I cut anything, when the wood was still square, I put it in the drill press and put a center hole. Each one of these tangs is a little different, so I didn't want to standardize. I want them to go in though with barely any push, because I want it to fill with epoxy, and I don't want it to split the wood. Whether I'm right or wrong, time will tell. So I'm going to drill out those holes so these fit just snug, and then we'll go back to some little more sanding. Boy, oh boy. Looking disheveled. I'm back. We're now at 120 grit on all three. I've been sticking the blade in just to show you, and I take it out to work on it. They're feeling good. I'm going to go 240 next and kind of see where we're at then. You know, depending on what you're sanding, you can go overboard. I can. Ta-da. So, I don't know. I'm going to feel it, look at it. It would be neat if I could get a finish on these today and then run out. I have some epoxy, but it's not really the right kind of epoxy. It was meant for like resin pours. It works. I've used it on similar things, but I think I'm going to go get some like 5-minute epoxy, because I want these blades, when I put them in, you got to get them, if they're crooked this way, this way, this way, this way, they don't work as well. They don't sharpen. It's harder to sharpen them, harder to use them. So I want them straight, and I want them to set fairly quickly when that time comes. So I'll run out and do that. You have to get the shape of whatever it is you're doing, in this case knife handles, at the early grits. All this is doing, didn't we go over this on something? Yeah, with the metal, polishing of tools. The subsequent finer grits are only to take out the scratches of the previous grit. And so you got to get your shape down early, or you may have to double back if you realize, oh, there's a part that is still a little rough. All right, fast forward. I did the 220, I did some 300, and then I did some quad aught steel wool. And I think we're gonna say that's good enough. And I'm gonna go with my favorite, shellac. I went back and forth on that quite a bit, what to finish, but I'm gonna do shellac. I can always sand it off. I'm getting good at sanding. Okay, it was too much to show and do, but the blades have now been put in. There's 3 coats of shellac, and I epoxied them in with 5-minute epoxy. So in about an hour, I'll take them and pull all the tape off, and we'll get the first look of what they should come up looking like. Then tomorrow I can go on with sharpening them and waxing the handles when everything's cured up. All right. These first 3 out of the 9, ooh, I'm right in your face, are done. I can't be happier. I played around, you saw it, but I played around a little more with the cut on it, and it's working amazing. I will spend more time with each one on the strop, getting them to where they're razor sharp. They are pretty much there, though. I coated them with some Howard's Feed and Wax during that last ASMR section, and just to soak in any spots that needed a little extra conditioning, but I'm tickled pink with how these turned out. So I'm going to finish the other 6, but that probably won't be till I get back. In the meantime, somebody dropped by yesterday and brought me some things to work on for them with a special request. So I thought, oh, this could be fun. I'll bring you all along and we can work on that. But until then, thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around through this process. It's only going to improve, I hope, from here. But oh, and the hard. This is the one. Okay, real quick. This is a knife I made. And where's the other one? Hang on. I should have done this earlier. Oh. This is a knife I made. And there's one more here somewhere. Oh. And this is the knife I made. But these 3, top of the charts. So I'll get a picture so you can see my progress. I'll kind of lay them out in order and you can decide if I'm getting better at this or not. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Bye.